Welcome back, Keepers of the Flame. We're going to do Capricorn. Yes, that's what we're going to do right now. I would have put on something nicer, but I was too busy trying to get my finger out of the light socket. So I'm just going to have to deal with this hot mess right here. So let's see, Capricorn. I don't know your specifics. You can go somewhere else online and figure out that. You can look up your natal chart, find out where your Gemini placements, your Mars placements, and your Moon placement is, because Mars is retrograde in Gemini right now. And then tomorrow is the full moon in Gemini. So it's heavy masculine, feminine energy weaving themselves together. So for some, depending on your placements, that might be a little bit more tricky. For some, that might be a little bit more easy. Might depend on the amount of shadow work. Might depend on what phase of life you're in right now. It just kind of depends. Like it's all good in the hood. What I can tell you is, oh my God. Okay, so the masculine and feminine coming together is gonna create that yin and yang thing. So it's a good thing that those things are coming together. However, we don't have a very healthy construct of those things on the planet at the moment. So if there's unhealed wounds there, unhealed trauma with the masculine or the feminine or both, they tend to reflect each other. Excuse me, I just took a huge swig of kombucha. Wow, excuse me. Ooh. So what it's gonna do for you is create an access point. Think of it as an opportunity rather than a oh shit. So if you can switch your mindset, instead of focusing on the trauma part of it, focus on the healing part of it. It's just the universe going, look what I have for you, darling. Do you want to come this way? Because it's lovely over here. So it's just an invitation. And some things, especially the grieving process, we haven't been taught how to do correctly. So letting go. Suffering is the root of all not being able to let go. I know everybody thinks it's the other way around. Suffering has its own root, and it's because you're not letting go. So it's like the root system is stuck there, and no matter how hard you're trying to pull that effer out, it's not coming up, and it's because your suffering roots are really deep. And so that creates pain. Okay. So if we can focus on releasing with gratitude and grace, this will be a much easier process. And if we can focus on bringing those two very powerful forces together so they're aligned within us, I don't know. I don't think the planet has seen it yet, but I think we're about to start unveiling it. It's kind of, what I told the other signs, it's like setting a giant block of brick with laced with frozen debris. It's just freaking cold. And you set that thing on fire, right? And it's in that little cradle thing that's got ropes going up to this big long beam that goes down to this, I think they call it a catapult, but don't quote me. So, and the little hitch that gets moved out of the way, so the whole contraption. So this full moon is going to be like somebody taking a big freaking hammer and releasing that giant fireball and catapulting it over the wall. Okay? That's kind of what's going to happen. Kind of. That's just what I've been given to translate for you. So, are people going to get hit by it? Yep. Because especially when you step into that sovereignty and power within yourself, you've bonded. Your masculine and feminine are now holding hands instead of putting their dukes up every time they're confronted with each other on the inside. Yeah, it's really hard to mess with people. And people are going to get ticked off that they can't mess with you anymore. And so you're going to have to embody that energy with gratitude and grace, okay? So just keep releasing, letting go, and allowing things to come up. This isn't so much as a work process. You don't got to work at this. This is not something that just... If you are working, you're probably fighting it, is what I'm getting. So relax, let go, let it happen. And I know Capricorns like their slowness. They like to ease into things and whatever else. So you go at your own pace. Remember to breathe deep, and it's going to be okay. Okay? Don't start any arguments. Don't be tempted to engage in any argumentation right now, because everybody is going through this severe transition right now. It's not really severe. It's a good thing. It's a really good thing. It's just we're not used to it. We're not used to having that type of energy on the planet. So when the people that are completely oblivious to it, and this is a completely foreign concept to them, they're not gonna understand what's happening to them, because their internal world is now shifting into something that they haven't experienced before. So we're just gonna have to be patient and kind with ourselves and everybody else. Okay. And then Mars doesn't. This is the midpoint too. So this particular day, tomorrow, full moon, is the midpoint when Mars starts to look like it's starting to move. It's not going direct. It's in the midpoint of its retrograde. So it's still going to be in its backwards movement, but it's coming around to the point where it's going to start not really looking like it's going to go forward, but it's on like the midway to like the back side. It's hard to explain so here's the sign. Mars is going this way, right? So from our perspective here on Earth, it looks like Mars is moving backwards instead of forward. Does that make sense? So the midway for it to go backwards is now starting. It's on the second half of its backwards journey. If that makes any sense. It's not actually moving backwards. It's just rotating this around the sun like everything else does. It just looks like it's moving backwards to an eyeball from Earth, if that makes any sense. Okay. So tomorrow is also the midpoint where the moon is full. I personally am welcoming this energy with open arms. I am ready for peace and sovereignty in my own life. I don't know about you. Right, I'm just going to keep shuffling until the universe is like, hey, yeah, you're good. Don't send any legal documents into play now either. Wait about 7 to 10 days. Okay, I think that's good. Check your placements. Go to astro/seek.com and look up your natal chart. Get familiar with yourself and how your energies are operating right now. It's not necessarily a predetermination of your life. It just depends on how you want to handle the frequencies, energies, vibrations coming at you. And the universe is always there to assist you in your evolution. That's why it was created. Okay. So, whoop, there it is. Okay. So, okay. So if you can just hold on to the fact that nobody's conspiring against you, it may seem that way from the outside, but if you are getting that actual energy, it's just the universe asking you why the hell you're staying here, and to now get smart about it and maneuver your way away from it. Okay? First card. not doing reversals with this deck because it's going to be pine. So I chose the Dreams of Gaia deck for Capricorn. Okay. Underlying energy. Everybody's getting this card. Everybody's getting this card. I touch this deck, the knowledge card comes out. Okay. So we're doing an 8-card spread. Okay, got it. This is a lot. Okay. So you've got the Ace of Earth here. Such beautiful energy. This, like I said, opportunity from the universe. Okay? And the cool thing about this card, even if it's in the reverse, it's still growing, right? Then you've got the Sage, death and rebirth, emotions, the King of Fire, which would be the King of Wands, the 10 of Earth, which is the 10 of Pentacles, perception and knowledge. Okay, Capricorn. Just want to kick all of our asses during this whole thing. Fine, be my guest. Oh no, I'm going to be burping now. I'm sorry. I'm not used to carbonated stuff, but I don't want to get sick. So I'm doing the probiotics with ginger and lemon right now. Okay. This is a lot, Capricorn. This is a lot. I'm going to have to take off my sweater for this one. Holy bejesus. Okay. So the Ace of Pentacles we know is opportunity, right? But there's some major arcana cards here that I feel like I need to read because, yeah. Some. Okay, so out of the 8 cards you have, 5 are major arcana. Shutting the F up and getting to reading. I guess I'm just going to read you your reading for your reading. That's what I'm going to do right now. That's okay. These are really, really good cards. See, excuse me. Sorry. Okay, I was like, oh my God, please don't let this be a novel. It might be a novel. Okay, only half of one for the first card. Okay. Oh, good. There's even more of a glare. Son of a monkey. That's not good. Hang on. Great. Try to let the sunshine in, and this is what happens. Okay. Damn it. Shit. Okay. We got this. We got this. Just block the whole camera with the card. Okay. There we go. How can I... Okay. Is there anything really seriously vital about the bottom of the card? Not really. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so he's got an owl there. You can see his little light thingy. Okay. Wolf. At some point, I don't know. Maybe I should get a different camera. She burped and then she licked her finger and cleaned off the lens. I can't decide if I should throw up or listen to her readings. Okay, sorry. Okay, sharing, communication, knowledge. Information, culture, tradition, advice, and manipulation. So if this card were in reverse, it'd be manipulation. Be the storyteller, it says. Okay, so these are going to be key phrases. Be the storyteller. Communicate your thoughts and feelings. Know your audience. Devote time to research and investigation. Learn the traditions and customs of others. Know your ancestors and heritage. Sage advice, both given and received. There is no good time to give unsolicited advice. Question your traditional quote-unquote reactions and responses. Do not speak so much that you forget to listen. Be wary of the smooth talker. Do not embellish the truth. There's a weird thing. I hope you guys aren't seeing like the line with the squiggle thing in the middle. Okay. The sage in his glory is an enthralling character. He is the sagest older man. Is that even a word? Okay, sagest. Oh, Jesus. Okay. He is the older man, one who is entertaining, expressive, knowledgeable, informative, and just a little mystical and wizard-like. He is a perceptive man, a storyteller at heart, who can read and move his audience with skill and ease. He is also just a bit of a magician and a master communicator, and when the sage card appears in your reading, it represents the sharing of knowledge and communication. Philosophy, mythology, religion, culture, politics, history, science. There's not much that the sage does not love to learn about. He loves knowledge. He loves to understand the how and the why of everything, and will develop his knowledge to the greatest level he can achieve. Knowledge is his one true passion, and at this stage of his life, sharing his knowledge, being the storyteller, is something that brings him great joy. He is, in essence, the voice of society and civilization, but with an unassuming flair for the dramatic. However, as unassuming as he can be, he is a philosopher and an orator who enjoys being the center of attention. He could be the perfect professor whose students lean in, listening intently to every word. He could also be the charismatic politician who charms his constituents and wins by a landslide. If the sage has a message that he feels is important, he will find the way and means to deliver it to his target audience, and that audience will hang on every word. He has a particular affinity for young people and will often find him surrounded at gatherings, talking, debating, and sharing his wisdom and knowledge. He takes delight in the young and will often place himself in the role of mentor to students. The sage is also a very deep thinker who sometimes feels a need to withdraw from the world so that he can devote time to research and investigation. He does not learn for learning's sake, but because he has a driving need to understand the universe, the natural world, and humanity. His knowledge brings him clarity and enables him to be discerning. Okay, Capricorn. Let me start sharing with the rest of us. Just saying. We need more people out there talking about stuff that they have come to understand rather than keeping it in the shadows. Just saying. Oh, look at what your next card is, darling. So, death and rebirth. Keywords being endings, beginnings, cycles, transformation, transmutation, change, and growth. Let go of the past. The future is unknowable. Change is unavoidable. There is no going back. Allow yourself to mourn. Death and rebirth is a gradual process. Shed your skin. The dark night of the soul. Allow innocence to be reborn. Focus on the short-term future. A change in beliefs, attitude, or behavior. The death rebirth card symbolizes the cycles and change. Death and rebirth is the death of the old and birthing the new. It is time to let go of the past and turn to face a new and unknown future with the awareness that there is no going back. It is time to begin again, sometimes with nothing but memories and other times with everything external, unchanged, but with your mind so altered that everything seems different, strange, and unfamiliar. It is time to pass from one stage or state of being to another, and to be transformed so completely that the person undergoing the change is no longer recognizes themselves. They are a caterpillar that has become a butterfly. An irreversible process of transmutation is complete. The person they were is forever gone, and they have been reborn. Life as they know it has changed. Change can inspire many little painless deaths and sometimes great deaths born of intense loss that must be mourned before we can face the future with excitement and anticipation once more. The loss of a spouse or family member, The end of a long-term relationship or career, retirement, and illness are just a few experiences that can bring about death and rebirth process. Ours is a perpetual journey of undoing, being, and becoming. The death preceding rebirth can be quick and sudden or slow and painful. In the process of dying, everything in life revolves around the death, the pain, the suffering, the anguish, the loss, the guilt, the anger, and the fear. The pain can be so real it is debilitating. The fear can also be paralyzing that it halts growth and has one withdrawing from life itself. We can cycle around, analyzing, questioning, perceiving our wounds from healing, refusing to accept that life has changed. And there is nothing that can be done to restore it to what it was. That stage of life is over. There are only two choices: remain in limbo or accept reality, surrender to death, and be reborn. The rebirth process can also be problematic. It is not an instant process. Sometimes, before we can soar, we must learn how to fly all over again. Yes, our outlook can be positive, but the future is still unknown. Our beliefs have changed. Our perception and understanding of the world around us have changed. Our roles and purpose have changed. Our lives and state of mind are being are not as they were. We know what we are capable of, but we first must learn to adapt to the changes that led to the little death in the first place. The death and rebirth card calls us to renewal, regeneration, and to new beginnings. Like the seasons, we are bound by a cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Like the planet we dwell upon, we experience seasons and stages: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Spring is a time of new growth, summer a time of fruition, autumn a time of letting go and dying, and winter a time of dormancy and regeneration. Autumn and winter can inspire feelings of loss and fear. We fear death and change because we do not know what comes after. But the truth is that we do know. But we are so accustomed to life as it is now that the idea of anything different creates resistance. There is, however, no halting change, and just as we know and trust that spring will follow winter, we can know and trust that after death we will be reborn. Death is just a gateway to a new reality, a stage of your life's journey, while rebirth is symbolic of an evolving and expanding consciousness. Two cards. The next one is emotions. Okay. Holy. Okay. Well, it was nice chatting with you today. I'm just gonna read. Okay. Ooh. Wow, I didn't see that before. Holy bejesus. There's an I can't really interpret this, but there's something like that looks like an eyeball down here. Like there is a giant freaking beast over here with the like queen of all freaking eyelash. Whatever you ladies call those things. It's eyelash additive here with half the dragon face. But then there's a giant eyeball right there. You see it? Whoa. That's a little intense. Okay, Capricorn. I'm gonna try to, son of a monkey. Okay, pick it up here. Okay. Pick it up here. We're gonna do that. Alrighty then. Okay. Backing it up so you can see that little eyeball in the corner there. Holy bejesus. Okay. Learn something new every day. I know. So keywords are emotions, feelings, emotional honesty, positive emotions, and negative emotions. Again, it's working out so hot. We'll get it right, Cappy. We'll get it right. There it is. There it is. Okay. There, you can see the eyeball and the tip of that guy up there. Feelings, emotional honesty, positive emotions, negative emotions, acknowledgement, acceptance, expression. All emotions are necessary. How are your feelings influencing you? Use your feelings to evaluate a situation. Heed the message behind the feeling. Are you a negative or positive person? Do not prejudge the present based on the past. Practice acknowledging your feelings. Fill your day with laughter. Step back and detach emotionally. Positive emotions open you to learning. Repressing emotions creates dis-ease. Address symptoms of emotional repression. The emotions card is the third of the 8 influence cards and represents the influence that our feelings and emotions have upon our choices and decisions. The quote-unquote positive feelings and emotions that have the most influence upon us are love, joy, gratitude, peace, or serenity, hopefulness, inspiration, amusement, pride, awe, curiosity. We also feel a range of quote-unquote negative emotions, with the primary examples being fear, anger, disgust, jealousy, sadness, regret, loss, and hate. I'm going to add guilt in there. The key message of the emotions card is that feelings and emotions are neither good nor bad. All are necessary, and each and every emotion we experience has both a positive and a negative element to its nature. Positive and negative exist in all that influences us, whether it be a single thought, belief, experience, or emotion. When you hold a simple, unmarked magnet in your hand and look at it, can you tell the difference between a negative pole and the positive pole? No, you cannot. In the same way, negative emotions are indistinguishable to positive emotions. Negative is the polar opposite of positive, and like many polar extremes, these do not denote good or bad. They are simply the opposites of each other. And both poles are necessary for us to function in a whole and healthful manner. Without experiencing the weightier emotions we have come to associate with pain and discomfort, we cannot become so positive that we become complacent and ignore the danger signals and warning signs all around us. We may become so busy laughing and having fun that we walk right off a cliff because we are not paying attention and didn't see or sense an oncoming danger. It is the emotional response we have after the quote-unquote the fall that has us learning and laughing it off or choosing to blame or condemn. Would you feel anger over your carelessness, blame someone else for not having put a larger sign up, warning of the danger, or would you laugh and take it as a reminder to be more cautious in the future? The emotions we feel give lightness or weight to our thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions. They give them power. We are told that positive emotions open up our focus and inspire us to be curious, to learn, and retain information. Negative emotions focus and narrow our attention to ensure we deal with an issue. But feelings of joy can blind us to warning signs, just as anger or fear can blind us to opportunities and experiences that will bring us joy. They say love is blind, and it can make us blind to the many things we should address but are afraid to because to do so might place our relationship at risk. While we may experience anger when someone crosses our boundaries, that emotion can serve us by providing the impetus we need. Done gonna have to look that one up. Okay. That we need to end a toxic relationship. I'm getting like a gateway there. Like providing the avenue, pathway. Enticement? I don't know. Okay. In the same way, fear can serve to warn us of an impending danger, which in turn can keep us safe from harm. When we feel regret, we are offered the opportunity to realign our values and to set goals and act on them. When we experience jealousy, we can see that it is an invitation to look within and address the neglect within ourselves or the lack of imbalance within our relationships. In these and many other ways, negative emotions can have a positive influence by helping us see what is amiss in our lives and even how it can be addressed. Emotions, both positive and negative, and the positive and negative aspects of each emotion itself can have a great influence upon our decision-making process, depending on the emotional imprint that is made with each experience. The emotions we feel play a fundamental role in the retention of memories. Encounters that leave us lukewarm are likely to be forgotten, while those that stir up intense emotions will be remembered for much longer. If those emotions are repeated from one experience to the next, they can give rise to a set of emotional responses that impact on our present. They can also give rise to a belief that the repeated experience will generate the same emotional outcome. I'm going to have to do a second reading. We're on 32 here. Blasted. Okay. If you experience intense feelings related to a particular event, for example, the intense fear mingled with the excitement that you would feel if you were to parachute out of a plane, it is unlikely that you will ever forget that feeling or the moment that inspired it. However, an activity mundane as hanging out and washing the clothes on the line is not likely to be associated with any feeling of intense enough to be remembered in your great detail in any form of the future, unless you were abducted by aliens as you hung your undergarments out to dry. Our emotions help us evaluate our experiences. From there, we use those emotional evaluations to see and weigh our options, make our decisions, and guide our actions. Our emotions in themselves are neither good nor bad. It is how we manage them and allow them to influence our thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions that brings us low or has us shining bright.